What you're seeing here is what's called a MYO rep set. It may be one of the most effective types of intensity technique for building muscle. The execution is fairly simple. You do a set to failure or close, then you take a short rest, and then you immediately go to failure again. The rest needs to be short enough that you can't get anywhere near as many reps. Personally, I like to time the rest by the number of breaths that I take, usually between 3 and 5 deep breaths. But you could also use a stopwatch if you wanted. Theoretically, you could keep doing sets like this until you've accumulated a frankly absurd amount of volume, so I prefer to set a limit that dictates that if you stop when you can't perform a certain number of reps in one of the mini sets, usually if 5 if it's relatively heavy, or 8 if it's relatively light, then you stop. The concept behind MYO reps is that the most effective reps in a set are those that are the closest to failure, especially the last 5 or so, with all the reps leading up to these being sort of like a warm-up or a pre-exhaust. Don't get me wrong, those lead-in reps are still very effective for strength, power, and technical development, but if you want all of that and some big muscles too, then those last few reps before failure are even more important. What MYO reps allow you to do is effectively cut out those lead-in reps so you're left with only the most effective reps. Instead of 4 sets of 15 where you have 10 lead-in and 5 close to failure, you have 1 normal set of 10 lead-in and 5 close to failure, followed shortly by 3 mini sets in which you only have a few or even no lead-in reps and you immediately get those close to failure reps. This makes MYO reps incredibly efficient, although admittedly there are downsides. Assuming time and recovery are not relevant issues, simply doing straight sets would probably be more effective, as those lead-in reps still provide a good stimulus. However, for anyone trying to train at a high level, recovery will inevitably be a relevant issue, and even for those people not trying to train at a high level, time is always going to be a relevant issue. In fact, if you have enough other commitments that you can't train at a high level, time is probably even more of a factor for you than it is for someone like a pro bodybuilder. MYO reps are incredibly time efficient because they get you the highest number of effective reps possible in the shortest period of time. They're also inherently very recovery efficient because when you cut out those lead-in reps, you're also cutting a decent amount of fatigue along with them. So, should every exercise always be MYO reps? No, probably not. Heavy free weight exercises like squats or bench press would be far too risky from an injury perspective to use MYO reps. Not to mention the fatigue to non-target muscles like the lower back, it would make it ineffective anyway. But still, I'm quite confident that MYO reps may be the most effective intensity technique for hypertrophy purposes. And if someone was restricted to a short workout time frame, like 30 minutes or so, I wouldn't hesitate to have them do virtually every exercise in that session with MYO reps. I highly recommend you give them a go next training session. They work great for biceps, triceps, delts, or virtually any isolation exercise. But really, if you want the crash course, strap in and do some disgustingly deep full range of motion leg press with MYO reps. If you're used to half repping 10 plates a side, watch out. Not only are you going to have to drop the weight down, but the sheer intensity and DOMs might just make you question whether you were ever really serious about training in the first place. Enjoy!